When I first started my 3D printing business, I thought it was going to be all cool designs, running a bunch of printers, and making money. But let me tell you, this last month has been a reality check. From unexpected challenges to lessons I wish I would have learned sooner, I'm breaking down the 6 hard truths I've learned from running my 3D printing business for the last month. So whether you're just starting out, you've been doing this for a while, or you want to get into the 3D printing business, I'm going to go over some insights that hopefully is going to save you some time, money, and definitely a lot of frustration. So sit back, grab some coffee, and let's get into today's video. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Corey. This is William's Workshop. On this channel, we go over all things 3D printing, as well as 3D printing business and this print farm that we're going to talk about today. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We go over videos at least once a week, sometimes 3 times a week, talking about those things and trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So your love and support on this video would be greatly appreciated. But before I keep rambling, let's go over lesson number 1. So the first hard lesson I had to learn was make sure you have enough filament for the items that you have on your Etsy shop. So this printer right here, just yesterday, I ran out of black filament, which I don't even know how I ran out of black filament. I guess I wasn't paying attention, but I had to learn this lesson twice, unfortunately. Once with this filament here from Micro Center and once with filament from Amazon. Normally, I only have to learn a lesson once, but for some reason, this one took me twice to realize that I need to order more filament or have multiple items printed out if I have my items up on Etsy. So with this one, I had some blue filament that I get from Micro Center. Micro Center is about 45 minutes away. So I got an order in for actually for these right here. These are the unfinished ones that we're gonna get to. But I had an order in for these tea lights that I sell on my Etsy shop in blue. So I'm like, okay, let me go pack up the order. I go and grab the order, and I only have 2, but the person ordered 3. So I was like, hey, let me just go ahead and print some more. And I had just enough filament. I said, I should be able to make it. Long story short, I didn't have enough filament. So here is the item that I went to print out with that blue filament. And you can see it is, it's not complete. So I had to run to Micro Center just so I can complete this order for Etsy. And I thought that would have been enough because I got another order of the tea lights, and for some reason I didn't have enough black and I ran out of black again. So I now have an order that is waiting on an Amazon order for more filament. I ordered 4 spools of black this time. That is the lesson that I had to learn the hard way. So that was a hard truth that I had to learn the hard way. Now I live by the motto that 1 is none and 2 is 1. Meaning whenever I order filament, I no longer order rolls of just 1, especially if it's something that is going to be up for sale, whether it's on TikTok or on Etsy. I order 2 spools of it just to make sure I never run out of filament. So that was the first lesson that I learned the hard way. Hard truth number 2 is work on 1 project at a time. So now, after learning the hard truth that I need to make sure I have enough filament, with extra filament, I thought it'd be a good idea to print out a bunch of different items that haven't made it on Etsy yet. So all of these items I have printed, and sometimes in different colors, sometimes just the same item that I have printed and not put on Etsy, because putting these items up on Etsy is a whole ordeal. You gotta come up with the title, the description. You also have to make sure you have good photos. So this kind of just got overwhelming, the more and more items that I had to put up on Etsy. So now I have a rule that says I will not print another item, another new item out before I get the item that I just printed up on Etsy. So this should be going away relatively soon because I'm gonna get every single one of these items up on my Etsy store or my TikTok shop before I print another item. Go ahead and make sure you are only working on 1, maybe 2 projects at a time. Don't get like me and print out a bunch of things that don't make it on the store. So the third hard lesson I had to learn was not every item is going to sell well on all platforms. So I got pretty lucky with my first item that I ended up selling on 2 platforms, which was on TikTok Shop and Etsy, were these little tumblers that did really well on TikTok and on Etsy. So I thought every project that I put up, every idea that I have is going to sell just as well on TikTok Shop that it is on Etsy. Just not true. One of the next items that I decided to sell was these vases, and I actually have a bunch of different designs, and I was like, let me throw these up on TikTok Shop. I know these are going to do really well, not realizing that the audience on TikTok are not the same audience that's on Etsy. So that was the third hard lesson I had to learn, was not every item that you sell on TikTok Shop is gonna do just as well on Everbee or even on Amazon. You have to do your own research for the specific platform and figure out what's going to do well on that platform and figure out your audience before putting out a product. So that actually leads me into the fifth hard truth that I learned over the last 30 days, was make sure that I have more than one platform. For the first, I would say 3 weeks, all I did was focus on Etsy and I didn't do anything on TikTok Shop. So once I got an item that I thought would do well, i.e. those tumblers, I actually put them on my TikTok Shop, and in a couple of days I got a sale, and then I got another sale for another item as well. So I'm not saying make sure all of your items will sell on all of the platforms. I'm just saying that I am going to start focusing on Amazon this year, as well as putting more effort in on TikTok and on Etsy, and kind of spreading where I'm putting my designs so I have a greater chance of an item doing really well on different platforms. And the fifth hard truth that I learned was doing research really matters. Kind of wrapping up the last two, I spent close to no time in the beginning figuring out what items I needed to sell, and I kind of just said, hey, I thought this was a good idea, so I would put it on TikTok Shop and say, hey, this is going to do really well. An example is actually this tumbler. So I'm just going to stick with the tumbler because one of my best sellers, but the tumbler here, I had sent this to a TikTok guy and said, hey, make sure, hey, if I send this to you, I'll give you commission. Will you promote it on your TikTok Shop? And he's actually a close buddy of mine, and not really doing the research into his channel, seeing that he has a predominantly male audience. And I don't know very many males that are going to be interested in these, especially because a lot of the colors are pink and purple. These are more predominantly for females. So I didn't do my research to figure out, hey, giving this item to him isn't going to get me the return that I want. So make sure you're doing your research, not only on the item, but also on the platform. Again, use tools like Everbee. There are other tools out there that are going to give you good information on the market and on the products that you're looking to sell. And the sixth hard truth I had to learn, I really wish I didn't have to talk about on this video, but I do, is pricing. Oh yes, pricing. Pricing your models with profit in mind is something I did not do for my first couple items. I focused entirely too much on just getting new products out and getting them out for a reasonable price that I didn't actually go in and calculate any of the cost associated with putting these items out. So now I spend just as much time on my 3D printed items and figuring out what to sell. I spend just as much time, how do I price them? I now use tools like 3D Print Force. It is another YouTuber. He came out with a whole website that you can put all of the items in that you are looking to sell. You can plug everything in. It takes in consideration the material cost, how much your printer cost. If you sell it on Etsy, he actually has a plugin, shows relatively close to how much Etsy is going to charge you, what the TikTok fees are, and he has everything right in the website, so you don't have to worry about guessing how much these things are going to cost. There's also a spot for you to put in how much you paid for packaging. And the website was actually made by another YouTuber. The guy's name is Sam, and he runs the channel 3D Design Bros. I'm going to leave his channel link below as well as the website link below. Been a very invaluable tool with me printing items and making sure I have them properly price so I'm not losing money, or at best breaking even. I'm actually making a profit. All right, guys, so that was the 6 hard lessons that I had to learn about running a 3D printing business over the last 30 days. I hope something really stuck out to you to help you avoid making any of those same mistakes, hopefully save you some money, some time, and some frustration. Go ahead and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what the biggest lesson that you took away from this is, and what you plan on doing differently to avoid some of the same mistakes that I made. And again, if you got any value out of this video, consider hitting the subscribe button and leaving a like on the video. Or if you didn't get any value out of it, let me know in the comment section down below as well. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.